I'm going home. Oh no. Oh no. 445 is not bad. Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Chris, and this is Regular Guy Training. So, today we're going to go ahead and talk about the ACSS Vulcan in the 509. I picked up a 509 not too long ago. With that knowledge, Dimitri from Primary Arms, the designer of the ACSS Reticle, and that's like an umbrella term for just all kinds of crap that he's been involved in. He decided that he was going to see if I would like being sent a 509 with the Vulcan Reticle in it. Now, as you can see, the Vulcan Reticle has a chevron as like its base. And then you have a big old, you done screwed up ring to assist with alignment in case you goof things up, in case you line things up wrong, push the gun a little bit too hard, whatever. You can really detect where those mistakes are and get back to where you need to be as far as your alignment goes. So, now I personally like the reticle already, even when I reviewed, the 507 with it, because of those things. If I'm doing a cross-side dominant thing where I got to do a half, bring over as far as the gun goes, and then a half head turn to kind of meet in the middle, I don't have those alignment issues, because if I screw up just a little bit, I'm not fishing anymore. That's the big thing, is that the reticle kind of denies any real fishing whatsoever, because you can see where you're misaligned and instantly correct it the second that you are. Now, this really helps not just with the cross-side dominant dudes, but if you're in really goofy positions, like if you're working a 9-hole wall or you're messing around with cars and that kind of thing, it's pretty easy to make sure that you stay lined up, and the whole this deal just isn't a thing anymore. It's just a minor correction into where you need to be. And on top of that, while I'm not reviewing the 509 itself, that review is ongoing. What I will say is this reticle, with the boxy nature of the 509, makes it really, really easy to just, from the holster, come out and get everything lined up right away for a couple of reasons. One is obvious, that's the reticle. And the other is the right angular nature of the optic itself. The human eye has a little easier time detecting or lining up objects that are right angular in nature rather than smooth or rounded in nature. So the Vulcan reticle paired with this makes everything significantly easier. Aside of the fact that, new people and that kind of thing may want to jump into dot game and they're looking for easier ways to get acclimated to it. It's not just, okay, well, you can start with a larger dot and then move on from that. It's, no, we have this big thing that can help train your eyeballs and make sure that you're properly aligning stuff. In the time that I've used dots intensively, and it's been a little more than a few years now that I've been doing that, this is probably the only optic reticle setup that I've used where I haven't fished for a reticle once. Anytime that I was even moderately misaligned, especially with the nature of that huge ring, it's really easy to get back into wherever it is that you need to be, whether you got to correct up, down, left, right, a combination of those, whatever. It's pretty easy to do. So, cool, that works, right? Let's talk about the chevron. I don't really know what the obsession is with friggin' chevrons. I mean, I guess you could slap that on like MP5s and that kind of stuff, and it's easier to make references at greater ranges. Although the size of the chevron itself can interfere a little bit if your target's real small. But of course, you have the apex of that, and that helps keep you where you need to be. I'm really iffy on that. I tend to prefer dots or the circle-only reticle that Holosun tends to provide in a lot of their optics, and I know that they're starting to move away from that, and I really wish that they wouldn't. But, I tend to be a dot-only person or a circle-only person as far as pistol reticles are concerned. Now, what I would really hope is that, and I'm really, really hoping that if you're watching this, Dimitri, that you take this suggestion because you'll sell like 1 billion of these. If there is a dot only with your mistake ring or the circle dot reticle that you can transition between, circle only, circle dot, and dot only, if that's in there with your big mistake ring, to me, that's about as perfect as you can get. Now, there are some guys that prefer Delta style reticles and that kind of stuff. Obviously, the Delta point is something that a lot of people are going to talk about. But me personally, I'm the more traditional type, and a lot of guys are that way too. The circle only reticle that I wish would be in this, because that to me is like the ultimate. I recognize that I'm a little goofy in my sighting system preferences in that regard. That might not happen, but you never know. Hopefully somebody listens, because I would pick one of those up today. But point is, though, is that this has places it can go. The TV screen nature of the reticle being easy to line up, the big mistake ring telling you if you're in a goofy position or whatever to correct your crap, cross-side dominant stuff is easy to take care of, all of that. It's real easy to get real good with this thing. Also, and there is a benefit to the chevron itself, is that it is a larger reticle. So if I'm trying to move faster, I absolutely can. And the size of the optic not prohibiting how smooth the gun is running, it really does help with that as well. So it doesn't really matter if I'm trying to shoot further away, because I can get it done. I wish it was a dot, but I can get it done if I'm trying to shoot further away, if I'm trying to handle stuff up close, especially if I'm just trying to really crank it out of that holster like as fast as possible. I can take the very tiny amount of time to make the adjustments that I can already see I need to make versus trying to make the fish that everyone has had to do if they've shot with dots on their pistols for any real length of time. So, just getting the gun out there and making sure that everything is lined up where it needs to be is real easy to do in this package, especially because closed emitter dots are starting to evolve. There's a bunch of options that are available now. I really like this package a lot because it's closed emitter, tray type battery, easy to pick up as far as your eyeballs are concerned. And I know I've said that a few times, but I cannot stress that enough. It's really easy to pick up and make corrections, because that's a big thing, and that's a real deciding factor, is that if you screw up, and you will screw up, how fast you recover from that screw up is gonna make or break people. So, me personally, if you're on the fence about it, if you don't really care, or your preferences aren't really hard line on whether it's a dot or a chevron or whatever, and you've been considering this reticle on this optic, get off the fence. I would do it. So, I can't say much more about it, or this is going to turn into an optic review, so I'm going to hang that right here. But that said, if you guys want to come out and train with us, you absolutely can. I have a bunch of stuff on the schedule right now, and that includes Ohio. I'm going to Mississippi here fairly soon. Georgia is next week. So there's a few places that I'm getting ready to go do a bunch of things. I'm still doing a lot of private classes, and since I put that out in the public for you guys to, reach out to me and talk back and forth about what my policy is on private classes, you guys have kept me very busy, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that's open too. If you guys want to support us through Patreon, you absolutely can. Link for all this stuff, by the way, is in the description below. If you want to throw a couple of bucks at us so we can keep doing our thing, keep going out, teaching classes and that kind of stuff. Again, really easy to do. And if you want something out of it, $41 a month gets you as much training as you want. And it's a system meant to be abused, because we're trying to get people to come back so we can develop them instead of training a guy one time a year, right? Because we tend to function via like fighting gym rules. It's like, do the membership and come out and develop as much as you want to. The only thing that doesn't really count for is private classes and vehicle classes, and that second one is because of the logistics of all that. So there's that. If you guys want to check us out on Facebook too, again, link in the description below for all this. And remember, a regularly sized firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.